Warning, this program features viewpoints of our host, our guest. They're their own viewpoints. These viewpoints may not represent other hosts, other guests, individuals, or their employers. So please enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, this is James the Ghost Set Killer, and I am here today with another episode of Put 'em on the Glass podcast. We are going to tell you everything you need to know about promoting yourself through audio, through video. Today's guest is...
What up, man? How you doing?
Yeah,
I'm Corey.
doing good.
I've been in the auto glass industry for about 17 years. For those of y'all that don't know me, I focus on the windshield repair side of it, but do any and everything auto glass related. So that's what's up.
Who doesn't know you in the auto glass industry? Let's be honest. I mean, come on. I knew you before I knew you. You know, we all knew you. You know, Delta has been putting a strong front forever. You've been the face of that front. It's been amazing, and everything you do for the industry. I don't think everybody understands how much you actually do for the industry through teaching with the all the Auto Glass Safety Council certifications with the NW National Windshield Repair. There it is, division. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So I'm not down on the acronyms 100%, I guess, but you put on all those classes. Actually, my wife took one of your classes, and she's now a certified windshield repair tech. So everything that you've done, you know, for me personally, through giving my buddies discounts and through, you know, hooking me up, my wife up with a repair kit, and just everything you do is you and you and Drift are on such a different level. And the reason why I bring Drift up in that is you guys have a new show. Let's talk about, well, it's not new. This is the OG original Auto Glass podcast. I was on this one back in the day, the Auto Glass Tech Talk podcast. There were three of you. Now there's two. Let's talk about the not so new release of your show.
Yeah, so Auto Glass Tech Talk came from just the idea of it was a lot of Facebook groups at the time. So this is like 4 years ago, right? So a lot of Facebook groups out of there, a lot of people doing things. And I just was like, hey, why not talk to other technicians? Like posts are good online, but sometimes, you know, you read a post, you're trying to understand that person's voice, understand what they're saying. And it's just so hard to understand what someone is saying through a message. So I was like, hey, why don't we talk to people? It's people all over the world getting busy doing this, right? So like we interview people from the United Kingdom, from Australia, from the US, just all over, and just like hearing their story, hearing what they got going on, hearing what tools they use, what worked for them, what didn't work for them, and just actually giving some encouragement, because, you know, it's tough out there doing auto glass, whether you're doing replacements, whether you're doing repairs. It's some things you don't know. And it was just trying to link everybody up in the industry together. Because you get people on there that talk about, I don't know my urethane rip. And it's like, well, hey, this is a spot to talk about urethane rips, talk about whoever. They might be in here, but maybe they can give us an idea, give us something from their perspective. So that was the whole goal of it, was to do that. Then it kind of fell off because COVID ended and everybody went back to work and was doing their own thing. And so it kind of fell off. And now we back at it trying to do, you know, weekly episodes.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have picked three more connected people to the auto glass industry. You, Jeff, Drift, you guys have these connections that is worldwide. Like you just said, and auto glass is different around the world, but it's still the same. It's still the same around the world, but it's different around the world. And through me, you guys' like influence and you guys' goal setting for me. You guys were a goal for me to just start this show, you know, and then obviously you were one of my first guests. You came on and you did an awesome job as my first guest. One of my first guests. And I've interviewed a lot of people around the world, and almost all of them were like, hey, do you remember that first one, the Autoglass Tech Talk podcast? I was like, yes. Yes, I do, because I was a faithful watcher / listener, especially once I got on social media, because I didn't have it at the first part of COVID. But once I got on social media, I started really diving in. And then, you know, you guys' personalities, your, you know, mannerisms, everything just came out. And I was like, I love this. But then once everybody went back to work, and then, you know, my catalyst for doing this show was the Autoglass Olympics. And what happens with the Olympics is the Autoglass Safety Council. Now, you and I ran into each other just not too long ago. What, a week and a half ago? 2 weeks ago?
About a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, we were in California together for the Autoglass Safety Council meetings. So why are you so involved with that part of our industry?
Well, I'm just involved because this one part of the safety counseling, in particular with Rolex, which Rolex is the repair laminated automotive glass standard, right? And with Rolex, the big thing is industry professionals come together, and it's just to put the best practices of windshield repair in writing, but it's also to encourage technicians to do better, right? And just for me, it's like, if you can encourage someone to be better and do better and give them knowledge, you know what I mean? Like, you've done your job. So the whole goal for our company and for me personally is to encourage people to keep this a good repair industry, but also, you know, just putting it in writing and showing people, you know, like, hey, here's how you do things. You might have heard this, might have saw this, but here's a uniform way of doing it. And it's not manufacturer specific. It's just the common things, the simple things of doing a repair, putting it in writing and encouraging people. So that's the reason for it for me and for our company.
Yeah, the standardized practice, no matter if you're using Delta or Glassweld or Novus or Rockstar or whatever the kits are, you have a standardized practice to follow. And that's pretty much what the Safety Council meetings are for the installation part and the ADAS part as well. We got to talking, and dude, your know better, do better line. Ever since I heard that, I you know, for me, I got it from the Happy Vegan Russell Simmons. He had in his book, and then you're like, no, I got it from, you know, Deion Sanders, and I was like, oh man, I forgot about, you know, now he's, you know, the head coach. So every time I see him on TV with the Colorado Buffaloes coaching, I'm like, Corey, you know, like it just sparks it. So it's weird how your brain puts these connections together. But while we was at the meeting, you and I started talking about podcasting. We started talking about equipment. And this can relate to anybody's business, especially with the social media that's going on now. You and your wife both are YouTubers. Is that correct? Am I off there?
She has it all started with my wife. So my wife's a clinical psychologist, professor, speaker, all that good stuff, right? Yeah. And she posts a lot of, you know, stuff online, and we do a lot of work for companies. And I've helped her with that, and also run a couple YouTube channels myself. Yeah.
See, so I mean, you have not only this badass in the windshield repair, but you have this expert in the social media / media, you know, industry. Runs YouTube channels. He has his own thing. But we started talking about equipment and the way it looks better, because previous, you were on my show before. I did zero editing. I had Amazon equipment, and then so this year I've invested a lot of money. So we started talking. Before we get into the actual equipment, which you have, you're going to show everybody your setup. I'm so excited about this because, you know, your content is so great, like on your YouTube channels. Why is it important for a small business to hit this part, even if it's just Instagram photos, a little short video about their company? Why is this so important in today's age?
Yeah, I just feel like you do your job, regardless of what industry you're in, but let's just take auto glass, right, and just take windshield repair. We're in windshield repair for a reason, right? We want to make money, we want to do this, but we also want to tell the world and get more business. And after you've finished with one customer, it's like the race to get the next customer, right? So why not tell the world what you do, why you do it, and how you do it, right? And so that's where it comes into photos, text, videos, all that type of stuff helps you, because now you're documenting your process, what you do, how you do it, and you're giving them a call to action. So that's that part for branding, but also it's a part of, if you do a repair and you take the before and after, and then they call you up 2-3 days later saying, hey, they had an issue with my windshield, this cracked out, whatever. Well, cool, send me a photo. I can now show you where I did the repair at, because you can see where if you get a zoomed out view, you can see where the quadrant was where you did it, and now you can see if that where it cracked out at, or what they're alleging really happened where it happened at, where you done the repair at. So you can protect yourself with it and also market yourself with it. So for me, it's a no-brainer to get involved in documenting your work.
I never even thought about protecting yourself with the photos. I never, for me, it just went straight to, oh, let's brand ourselves, let's promote ourselves. And then here you come with like, yeah, that's important, but here's the basic logical reason for doing it is to CYA, and I love that. That's awesome. With today's technology, though, it's easier and easier now. I mean, I know with my iPhone 16 Pro Max 3-camera cinema mode and all that, it's a lot easier for me to set up a great shot and just make things easier. But even still, I'm not super tech savvy with that things. What is it that you recommend just for photos right now that everybody has in their pocket?
Yeah, everybody got in their pocket is their phone. So like I got my phone right here, right? This iPhone 16, right? And this works for you, right? And so iPhone works. I always tell people, a lot of people go vertical when they take videos and photos, but if you go vertical, you now limit the real estate that you have, right? Because it's a vertical shot versus you watch a TV, the whole 1920 by 1080, that's the full square, right? Full rectangle. So you get the full rectangle if you go wide like this, holding it. So I think this is cool. But one big thing with people when we take photos or videos with glass is we're working with glass and reflections, right? So a simple thing to have here that you can buy, you can get these off Amazon, or you can buy them, you get what you pay for when you get these. But this here is an ND filter or a circular polarizer, and all you want to do is just put this over your actual camera. That's going to now help with the reflections or help with the sunlight, because keep in mind, we're doing repairs, replacements, we're outside in direct sunlight. So this will block the sunlight and it will help with the reflection on the glass. So you can get one of these easy to put over it, but this is like I say, circular polarizer, ND filter. You get them separately like this, or you can actually buy cell phone cases that actually have them built into it. And if you look here, this case actually has it built into it, where you can actually just use that. And I just always say start with your iPhone. It records in 4K. Whatever phone you have these days, whether Samsung, iPhone, whatever brand, they all record 4K. They all do 1080, and they all take photos, right? So the biggest thing and the biggest mistake I see when I see a lot of photos in all the different groups is people don't use a circular polarizer or an ND filter to block the reflection. So that's I would always say start with your phone. That's number one.
So with the ND filter, circular polarizer, you said you get what you pay for. What target price range should someone on a budget focus on? I mean, I say budget because I'm on budget. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have one, so I'm going to be getting one. But what range should I focus price wise?
All right, so again, we talking glass, right? And these are made out of glass. So glass is a little different with the quality and the coatings on them, right? So that's the thing. But you can get these on Amazon anywhere from $19 on the low end, and on the high end, you can get up to like $50 to $75. And it's just really the coating of the glass that you got. And when you're doing a circular polarizer or ND filter, it blocks light. So how much light does it block? So you can get a variable, which is what I prefer. And this right here is a variable ND filter, because all you're doing here is just moving this. And as you see right there, as I turn that turns it, and that's variable, meaning you can go, it's called stops of how much light you're blocking. So the variable ND has multiple stops. So that's easier because every day, a sunny day isn't the same sunny day. It could be putting out an enormous amount of UV and a bunch of sun, and that angle you at, you need more of a blocker. So just think shades with these and the levels of shades that you have, that you're basically trying to block the sunlight getting into your photo to give you a better photo.
Okay. So $50 to $75 isn't terrible in today's market of gadgets. I mean, we know that. So, I mean, I would suggest to everybody who's listening, go on the high end, get that variable that Corey's talking about, because it makes sense in what we do. Because not only does the glass reflect, but someone with a really nice paint job that's all, all shiny and purty, it's going to reflect as well. So, especially if you're taking pictures of your work, to make sure that you're setting everything up. Now with the picture, you said landscape mode, right?
Yeah, I prefer landscape mode. Some people they like the vertical stuff. If you're doing Instagram, you can do that. But the thing, when you go wide, you can now crop in and still get the vertical mode, right? So that's cool. I like to use all I can get. So it will be some shots where I'm just going vertical, which is cool. But some I will actually go horizontal. I will go more of the standard way, so I can then crop in. Because again, you're shooting cameras. This is like on the iPhone, it's like over 20 megapixel camera, and the megapixel just means the quality. So if you was to zoom in, you can actually use it. But you can take a photo like this right here. And you can make this, you can zoom in and make it as big as a billboard because the cameras are so good. So I try to go that way, but whichever way you go, you go. What I also do is I got right here, this is a $20 item, right?
Yeah.
And what
I was just getting ready to ask you about a selfie stick slash.
Selfie sticks work because this is a selfie stick, but it also at the bottom down here, it actually has a tripod on it, right? So you can take these legs out and turn this into a tripod. So you can have this for a tripod, and the cool part is it can turn into a selfie stick, but with your phone being magnetic, you don't have to worry about anything. It just clamps right on like that.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that is dope. I ain't never seen one like that. I have because all of my tripods have the little cell phone holders that you pinch open, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it clamps around. That magnetic one, and it's $20 on Amazon.
Yeah, it's $20. So so what I do, I drop a link in the comments. I put a link to everything that I got right here.
Yep.
But all this is, it's just MagSafe. And so whatever phone you got, if it's MagSafe, that just pops on, which is easy and convenient because most of us aren't really taking photos like that and videos. So it just makes it convenient. Just whip your phone out, put it on the tripod or selfie stick, and you're good. And you're good to go from there with taking photos and things, and the ND filter and circular polarizer will help you.
Perfect. Okay, we're setting up our shot. We've got our tripod. We've got our ND filter, everything. Let's talk about the sunlight. You've talked about the sunlight. Okay, if we can position ourselves, where do we want the sun at? Because, I mean, it's basic photography, but people don't know.
Now, you want the sun behind you if you can get it behind you, but that's where the ND filter comes in at, because it's just like shades. Regardless of where you're at with shades on, the shades are meant to block the sunlight, and that's the same way with the filter. It's meant to block the sunlight. So, hey, we want it behind us, but if we can't get it behind us, to all my people in Florida and California and Texas, it's always sunny and you ain't escaping it. So that's where this comes in at, and it's going to help you get through that moment where you don't have to even worry where the sun is. If you're shooting at it, it's fine, but you ultimately want it behind you. Yeah.
Ultimately want it behind you. When it comes to taking pictures during your work, what angles would you recommend besides just being in landscape? Is there should they be above? Should they be low? Should they be eye level? What should they be looking at?
Good question. So taking the repair side of it again, when doing repairs, I tell people, you get a photo, I go far back, I go zoomed out because I want the whole windshield, right? I like to show the quadrant just low key. In my mind, I know where the quadrants are in the windshield. So when I'm taking the photo, I'm getting a zoomed out photo because I want to now see the whole windshield so I can know what the damage was in relation to the whole windshield. Then I'll go further zoomed in. I try to get the same angle with a repair, but also with a repair, you want to take like an ink pen, or if you want to take an object, like if you got a repair, you got your scribe right there. You got something to point at it. Point at it, even with your nylon stick, point at it, and then boom, take it. But also, what I like to do, since we're talking about branding, we brand ourselves with ink pens, and most of you guys got ink pens or got something, or should have something with your brand on. All you got to do is point your ink pen at it with your brand on it, and that tip will now focus the actual repair. So you had to repair, the finished repair in play, and same way when you do the before. So when you take before and afters, you're low-key branding yourself with your branded
ink pen or your t-shirt, or whatever. Yep. So cinematic mode, portrait mode.
You can use cinematic mode. The camera got like a lot of options in it. I just pulled the camera up on my phone to tell you the different ones. But for me, in reality, I shoot most cases with nothing on. So if I'm on photo, I just use the regular photo mode. So like I'm right here just on regular photo. You can get fancy with the portrait. It's going to do more things for you. And the good part about portrait is when you go into portrait mode, it tells you right there what you want. If you want natural light, contour light, but you don't even really need all of those. But if you are, I just shoot natural light and then you're good. And when you do video, it's just actually whatever's on the regular setting. So that's it.
Okay. Because you can usually with like a Photoshop or an editor, if you wanted to clean it up, blur the background, anything like that.
So with photos, you can easily, after you take the photo, you can edit the photo, whether you use that the Apple, whatever app you got, the native photo app, you can use that, or it's plenty of third-party apps, so you can just get an app and get this stylistic look that you're looking for.
Now, everything is Reels. Photos are great. Instagram's great. Photos on that. But now we're switching into video. We're switching into Reels. Do the same principles with the indie filter. Obviously, the tripod definitely. All those same things, you know, they definitely apply.
Yeah, those same things apply. So this is where the tripod comes in handy, right? So this is mainly, this right here for a lot of my replacement guys. This is where y'all gonna kill it, right? Because content is key. So what you want to do when you're doing a repair, or replacement, you want to tell yourself, what am I doing and why am I doing it? I always tell people, I talk to people on the 8th grade education, right? I want to dumb it down and make it simple so everyone can understand it. So when you're making your content for your reels, you want to state that, right? We don't want to assume everyone knows what a replacement is or everyone knows what a repair is. So when shooting your reel, you might start out with who I am, what I do. That's part, because you're going to get a bunch of different clips to make your actual video in the end. So you start out who I am, what I'm doing, what kind of car I'm working on, right? And then this is where the tripod and the mount comes in. And this, you can get a high up shot and come down. You can just put this on the ground and get a shot, right? So let's just say we want to show taking the windshield out. Well, you can get an angle at a certain angle of what you want to show, taking it out. Now you want to show putting the urethane in. Now you want to show setting it in. Now you got like 3 different clips showing you just told a story of what you do. You took a windshield out, you put a windshield in. So the average person, if they was watching this with no audio, they clearly know you do something in auto class with a front windshield. You took one out, you put one in. So just try to tell your story when doing your videos in your mind. Like, here's the story that I want to tell. So if it makes sense to you, 9 times out of 10, it makes sense to the consumer when they're looking at it. Because we make these videos for ourselves and for our peers and these groups and stuff. But in reality, we're making these to try to get our next customer. So try to tell a story that a consumer can relate to.
Continuous or clip with stop and start points. Do you do a continuous video, or do you shoot yourself taking it out, go stop it, reset up, shoot yourself putting it in, or how do you? What do we do for that?
Good point there. So good. That's a great point. So when you shoot these, as you do them, I would do continuous only because we're just starting out doing it. If you're trained and seasoned vet on taking photos and videos, you can start, stop. But that's another good part about this, and I keep going on this, but this right here, this tripod, it actually has a remote on here that you can take off or use. So let's just say we're doing starting and stopping. I now got my phone up on here, so phone's on, and it's getting me. I got this in my hand, so whether I'm taking a photo or video, this button will work to take the photo because it's working the shutter. So it's going to take the photo or it's going to start the video. So you can start and you can stop, or if you just go continuous, you got all the footage. Now you can cut the footage later on. It's going to make for a longer day on editing. But as you do continuous a couple times, you understand the right shot, the right angle, and now, and you probably get tired of editing and cutting so much stuff down that the start, stop works good. And that's where these kind of remotes work when you have like your camera on your phone. And you can just start it. You can be inside the car, outside, wherever you're at. Just use this button, you're ready to rock and roll.
Man. I'm running out of blades. Sharpen them so many times. Man. Who's that one guy? Sells the Glass Rebel. He's a huge distributor. The main Pro Set distributor. Drift Chris with TexasGlassTools.com. That's right. TexasGlassTools.com. That's who I need to call. He carries all the WRD stuff. These wing blade scrapers, that's right. He carries all the blades for the Glass Rebel. He carries the bat. He carries all WRD accessories. The Pro Set distributor. Man, that's who I have to call. I have to call Drift Chris, TexasGlassTools.com. That's who I need.
Okay, with the button, for photos, not to mean to jump back to photos real quick, but would you set your timer and then hit the button so you can get yourself in position if you're doing a branding photo?
So yeah, with the button with this on your phone, For those of y'all that don't know, all you got to do when you go on your phone right here and you go to photo, if you look on your phone right there, it has the setting right there at the top where you actually just click the button for timer, and you want to adjust your timer for the timing that you need. Some people need a 3-second timer, but I think you go all the way up from 3 to 10 seconds of your timer. Now you got your timer on, and once the timer's on and you just push this button, it's timed up, and then boom, you're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, because something like that you could stick in your pocket. You could have full use of your hands. And same way if you're cutting the video. And you did mention editing. So what editor do you use, or do you recommend, or would you just do it on your iPhone like normal?
Yeah, so for me, I'm going off convenience, and especially when traveling, like when we just saw each other in LA, I didn't travel with a big camera. I got my laptop to always edit stuff, but I just try to do everything on my phone because you got it right now in the moment, and sometimes you're trying to post stuff in the moment. When it comes to branding and advertising stuff, you can edit it a day or two later, which is fine, but they got a ton of different options on your phone to edit stuff. Like on your iPhone, they got actual everything within the photo app. It's everything's there to edit your photo or video, or you can use Final Cut. A lot of people use CapCut. Canva has some stuff. So it just depends on whatever you really truly want and what look you're going for. Some people like to go for the minimalistic look and just keep it simple. Some people are really truly trying to go cinematic. So I think it just really varies upon what your look and your style is. You know what I mean?
Okay. 30, 60, 15 seconds. What are we looking at? What are we looking at to maximize our most bang for our buck when it comes to our clips that we're shooting? You know, because reels go up to 45 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, you can get up to a minute depending on what kind of account you got. You can get longer than that. But yeah, starting out, I was just telling myself, what am I trying to do? So if you're doing a quick reel, like I like to have so here's another thing. We're making posts, right? We don't want to make, in my opinion, we don't want to make one post per day, right? Because you can get lost in the sauce. People, depends if they log in, they might not be high on their timeline, right? So for me, if you took a minute clip and you was able to break that down into 15-second clips, now we got multiple 15-second clips. So I like to be on people's timeline for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I want to post in the morning, I want to post in the afternoon, I want to post in the evening, because I know somebody checking their phone at one of them times throughout the day. So for me, I would simplify and go multiple posts, or break it up and do photo, video, photo. And now you got more bang for your buck and got more time and you got more of a chance to get on someone's timeline.
See, and I don't do that. I do one post a week for the show, and then usually one post a day. And then I just hit multiple LinkedIn, YouTube, all the Facebook groups. I need to start doing that. If not 3 times a day, definitely in the morning and in the evening. I need to start dropping something for the show, just to get it out in front of more people. I'm not, obviously, our show's like your show. We're not sponsored. You know, we don't have sponsors. We don't have anything coming in. This is all coming off of my dime. I'm not looking to make any money off of it. But if I invested all this money, I want to make sure I get enough listeners. And, you know, we average right around 300 now between all the platforms. So, like, boost that up. That would be amazing, you know. So we talked about the 30, 60-second clips. You know, you want to keep them short. You want to post multiple times. You want your content to be relevant with video. What are we looking branding wise? Do we want the branding in the background? Do we want the branding on ourselves? Do we want the branding of our business in every shot? What are we looking at for that?
Yeah, for me, I'm more about, like, I feel like if I educate you, you'll sell yourself, right? So whether it's a repair or it's a replacement, I want to show you the work because that's what you're interested in is the work. I like to have my testimonials do the talk for me, right? So when you see my stuff and then you also see on my page, you see videos, photos, and you see some testimonials sprinkled in, you see 5-star Google reviews. It's like, hey, they telling you how great I am. I don't have to tell you how great I am, but I also want to leave you with my name and who I am and what I do. And so it can be in your uniform. It can be, if you just got a regular shot, you can just take your logo and watermark it in the lower third or lower right, or however you want to do that. That's cool. Or you can actually try to always put the logo in there, but I try to give you less thinking. Your whole goal is you're an auto glass technician, right? You're trying to do your job, whether it's a repair, replacement, you're trying to do that, get out of that, get to the next customer. So the less work that you have to do is best. And so that's where it's the pre-edit and post-edit, right? So you make the editing easy in the end when you don't even have to worry about putting the logo on there, or you can put it on with a watermark, but I just don't want to give you much too many things to think about. Like, let me get this in shot. Let me be in uniform, because some days you are, some days you aren't. You might get this one shot that don't even have you in there, right? With the branding. So you can always do that when you post edit. You know what I mean? You can edit it then and put that on there. And you got your page. Your banner on your pages will show who you are and what you got going on. So if you do get some footage that doesn't have all the branding on it, it's not the end of the world. The whole goal is to show people what you actually do. And to me, more importantly, to state the problem, state the solution, and give a call to action.
Perfect. Now this is going to sound basic as hell, but all platforms, or focus to just YouTube, to focus just to Facebook, to just a couple platforms? All platforms, or I mean, that's
another good question, right? And I think that's to whatever you got the capacity for. Some people prefer like being on every single platform, and for me, I sometimes feel like, hey, you could be the jack of all trades and the master of nothing, right? You might be posting on all these platforms, but don't know how to really use the platform to the fullest ability. So for me, if I'm people, I start out a couple ways. You got Facebook and Instagram; those are owned by the same company. So if you post on those two, you got good help. Facebook is really good in Instagram when it comes to advertising, because now you advertise, you can post that video or photo, you can advertise and pick the actual zip codes that you want to advertise in. So I like them. If you're going to be doing this for advertising, that's cool. YouTube is extremely helpful because YouTube is owned by Google. So whatever you post on YouTube will now help you in the Google search. So if you got a website and you're trying to get found on Google, that's where the YouTube videos come in, because now you're on YouTube and it's on the actual Google search, because everyone Googles something. So I think for me, Facebook and Google are the top two. I know a lot of people are on Twitter or X or whatever you call it, and they go to LinkedIn and all that for professional settings. But LinkedIn is more of a professional place for other professionals to connect, not really where consumers are. So I feel like you can be in every single platform, which doesn't hurt, or you could just kind of simplify it and go on a couple and just test the waters, and then gradually grow to get on more platforms if you want to be on more platforms.
So if you're a tech, also I want to ask you, separate page from your personal pages? Like if you have a business page and then your personal, if you're a technician, does it all need to be personal, or should you start a completely separate channel / page for yourself that in your profession?
Yeah, so another good question. And we all read Glass Bites, right? So shout out to AGR and Glass Bites, right? But we all see that probably weekly, monthly, somebody see it, right? What do we always see on there, right? At least monthly, and it was happening more a couple years back. You hear a company get bought out, right? Company gets sold. So if we just had all this under our name and our company sold, that's a harder transition to take all that and scrub all that off your page. So simple thing to do on social media. If you run a company page, you have your regular page, you create a company page, and now you just make yourself an admin. So you can now post under that company page. But I tell people to think with the end in mind. We all probably don't want to do auto glass forever, or maybe you do. But it's still cool to have it separate and just think with the end in mind. If you were to sell your company, you pass it down to a family member, one of your kids or something, you can easily just give them that login and make them an admin to manage that page. It stays there versus it being on your personal name and personal page. But I also understand some people like, this is my livelihood. I'm never selling my business. I want my name. I want one less platform to be managing two different things. I want everything under my name. I get that part of it too. And there's no problem with having it that way. It's just for me personally, I prefer to keep them separate.
Perfect. So you said something there that just, not this there, but in the last one that hit my mind, and it started triggering me thinking. We see on our post all the time, I pay for Google ads, I pay for this, pay for that, the phone's not ringing. Get yourself a YouTube page that boosts you on Google. You're paying for Google platforms, so get yourself a YouTube page that you're posting great content and you keep continuously posting and try to get that, instead of focusing on, just nothing. If you want to advertise, man, what you said there never even registered to me, that YouTube promotes, on Google, like kind of boost your business. So that's
how you get on. That's how you get on search. So you get on Google. You put, because when you search Google, we all do it. It says, do you want to search web, images, or videos? So anything you post on your website will now help you get found with the photos. Anything you post on YouTube, that's where the videos come from. Google's pulling all that info. So yeah, use that, and just always tell people, man, a closed mouth don't get fed. So you got to let these people know what you do, why you do it, And the most important thing that I see in a lot of posts that a lot of people post and things when people post, they don't give a call to action. You got to give a call to action because just saying, hey, I'm Corey doing auto glass, that means nothing. You know, I'm Corey, I do windshield repair, and I want to make you and your windshield happy. You know what I mean? So hit me up, look at your windshield, see that you had damage, you know. So give people that call to action.
So give people the call to action. Get yourself on YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform you want to base your business around. Keep your videos to the, the continuous. You gave all kinds of awesome information there because not everybody is going to be a YouTube vlogger / whatever, but like you said, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So you need to take advantage of this technology that is not new by any stretch of imagination now, but like you need to take advantage of this to boost so you're not comfortable on camera. What are some tips about becoming comfortable on camera when you're setting up and if you're just kind of doing a talk to camera or, because sometimes it feels silly to do it,
Yeah, that's another great point. My wife is an introvert. She doesn't like being on camera, but when she get on it, she can do well with it. But the way she eased into actually doing videos was she started with just taking video clips and doing voiceovers. So say you just shot yourself taking that windshield out, putting the windshield in, and all you're doing is showing your hands and your tools, right? That's perfect because you're not comfortable on camera. You don't want to be on camera like that. That's fine. Now you take those clips and now you do a voiceover. And if you do a voiceover over it, where one, you can get an AI voice to do it, or you can do the voice yourself, now you still got a story to tell, or you can put text on the screen as now popping up. A little bit more work for you, but it does help you, and that could potentially ease you into getting on camera if you ever want to be on camera. But you do not have to be on camera to actually make videos and do videos. A lot of stuff can be voiceovers, like take Morgan Freeman. We all know Morgan Freeman and Samuel L. Jackson voice, right?
Yeah.
If they was in front of the camera or not, we know them.
You know who they
we
are.
know that voice. So you could be that same voice and be good.
Perfect. Because I know for me, I'm extroverted. Everybody kind of figures that when they meet me for the first time. I'm extroverted, but I'm trying to become more relaxed on camera because it was all audio for a long time with me. Yeah. And now I'm doing all the video to try to boost up my YouTube presence. And so for me, I'm trying to become more comfortable on camera because it does feel silly sometimes to look. I'm looking straight down the lens of the camera. I got you directly just off to my right just to the past my focal point so I could see you like I'm talking to you, but I'm also talking to the camera like I'm talking to another person.
Yeah, so I give you a cool tip that so Brent, shout out to Brent. I know he's gonna watch this, but shout out to Brent Dynas, owner of Delta Kits, right? President of Delta Kits, right? He gave me this advice long ago. He was like, always smile, right? When you're looking at the camera, try to smile, but keep it real. We gonna forget to smile, right?
Yeah.
So what he does is at your camera, take a photo, and he has a picture of his granddaughter actually right behind his camera, and that gives him something to smile at. So your resting face isn't you're not smiling, but it leads you to looking at something fun, or you looking at like, oh, here's a cruise ship, I want to go on a cruise, or remember a memorable vacation you went on, and that gives you something to smile at, but it also kind of relaxes you. You know what I mean? So just try those different things to figure out what works for you. And I'm sure you'll get it, but it does take practice. It don't happen overnight. It does take a lot of practice.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm trying to do right now is put in the reps, to become practice to do, I'm doing these little skits, and talking to you and talking to my guest is easier because talking to people relaxes me. Like just in the competition, that was the easiest for me was to talk to my proctor because it relaxed me, Yeah. All right. So boost your post or not to boost your post. What are we looking at because on the Meta business platform, when you get your Facebook business profile and then YouTube, you can boost, I believe, or something along those lines. So would you boost or would you not boost? Does it really make a difference?
Yeah, another good question, man. You hit me with a lot of good questions but the good part here is, right, you got organic growth and you got paid, right? So when you post something, you have to see what resonates with your audience. So let's just say we post a photo of our work van, right? Boom, our work van. And shout out to some guy. I kept seeing this post the other day, but he has a post, and if you're watching this, and I'll put his comment in there, but he has a van, has nothing to do with auto glass. It just says, it's like it says the Lord on it, and it has Philippians on his work van, but that's it. But he posts a lot of stuff and got a good van set up. But if you're gonna post your van, see how that works. If people actually like just the van, folks, is you see that, you see what get the different, you see the reach. You'll see when you upload, you'll see the reach, the comments, or the likes or whatever. That tells you what people liked and what resonated with them. So boom, if you get something good and that's going, keep posting that, right? That's gonna organically grow and go, right? And then sometimes you put a boost with it and a boost helps you, but understand what kind of content people want to see. Do they like to see the work van? Do they like to see you in action? Do they like to hear you talk about what you do and what you don't do? But on some of those, you want to make a video like, hey, this is Corey, this is what I do. Boom, boost that, because now that's telling people your message of who you are and what you do. Because if you just send, say you put in urethane, a lot of guys, they do it, they got the gun, they lay in the urethane. The average, if you boost that, the average consumer doesn't know what you're doing on that end. So I probably wouldn't boost that kind of post. I would just boost simple things that actually state what I'm doing and how I can help you, or take a photo of you actually holding the windshield before you set it. That's when you might want to boost, but think with the consumer in mind. When they see this video or this photo, will they understand that I do auto glass replacement or repair?
Perfect. Because, you know, I always see that come up, and I've not boosted a post yet. And I always see it come up as like, hey, would you like to boost this and reach more people? And when I drop it on YouTube, it's like, hey, reach more people, do this and this. And, you know, I'm guilty of watching the how to get more subscribers, how to title your videos, how to, you know, because anytime you want to be good at something, you research it to be good at it, you know. And I really do want to be, I want to be good at the podcasting, you know, because I enjoy it. It's something I've always listened to podcasts. It started way back in the day on XM Radio with the Jason Ellis Show, which isn't a podcast, but it was a show that was kind of, and then it just morphed into listening to podcasts. And, you know, now I'm a faithful Andrew Huberman listener. And like, so for me, it's like, I want to be good at it because it inspires me, and I want to kind of bring the same thing to the auto glass industry. So I'm loving all these tips. I'm going to try to be better at doing these because they're great tips. I'm so glad that we came on and talked about this, because there's so many that you see that has the potential to be great.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of maybe falls a little short, you know, because there's some really good YouTube channels out there, some video channels for auto glass, and there's some really good Instagram auto glass ones. And then there's some that just are right there, you know, on the cusp.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. Like for you trying to master your craft, right? But you got to start somewhere, right? So for everybody out there, like, start somewhere and don't get caught up in the comparison game. Like, we all look at things and we compare, like, I could be like this, I could be like that. Just focus on you. You're a one-on-one. Be you, be yourself, be authentic, and put out the content that you want that works for you, right? Because the whole goal is about you trying to get more business for you and your company, not trying to compete with this company and that company. We're competing with ourselves. So figure out what works for you and do what works for you, and just understand you got to crawl before you walk, right? So take them baby steps to get to where you want to go, but actually start, right? So that's how I try to tell people I'm doing it, and ease into it. You know, you're not going to be a full-fledged YouTuber overnight or having the money shot every time consistently. You're going to get some, you know, there's going to be some trials and some tribulations and some growing pains. So just understand that and know that, and you'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, just go back and listen to my first show, or the first 3 shows, and then listen to now and tell me if it's gotten better. But yeah, a call to action to my audience is, let me know if the show's progressed, you know, if it's became better, if you're really enjoying the content, because all these guests and, you know, the things I put out is just my brainchild. I'm just like, okay, I really like this person. I'm going to talk to this person. I think they got a good opinion. I'm going to really talk to this person. And, you know, there's enough room for everybody. You know, like, I love what you said, don't compare yourself, because we have quite a few auto glass podcasts right now in the mix, and to tell you what, I love every single one of them. What McCarthy and Steve are doing up there, I love watching theirs, their little reels, and then their podcast. Gary's Shatterproof podcast, I'm so happy that the Auto Glass Tech Talk podcast is back. You know, so I really love the fact that there's enough room for all of us. And if you're thinking about starting,
room for everybody. You're right on that, brother. It's enough room for everybody. And everybody make good content. I know everybody personally because I've been in the industry and know people. And that makes it even better to see other people do cool and successful things. And even with you, brother, I watch your content. I've seen you in action at Auto Glass Weeks, just from competing to networking to interacting and just bringing that all to light. And, you know, I really truly feel like when I look at you, you're a one of one. You do your thing. You're in your lane, and your lane actually really truly works. And the whole thing that I see with you and like what you said from the jump is that you grow as you go, right? And when you look at where you started out at to where you're at now, like you've grown a lot with it. The content has you always had a good brain and got good stuff you're saying, but you have enhanced it over time. And I really, truly appreciate you for that, for trying to master your craft and wanting to get better with it and taking it to the next level. Like, look at the things that you have done, and then from just going from just online talking to being at Autoglass Week, talking, hosting, and doing those type things. So, and all the different things that you've done from there. But yeah, I see it. The content's good. All your guests are always good, very insightful. So I appreciate you, brother, for what you got, and I love your setup, everything you got going on with it. Like, I noticed those little small things because I'm into that kind of stuff, but I always knew early on, and this is a tip for everybody out there who listening or watching. If you got good audio, people will listen. And if you got good video, people will watch. But if you got one of those bad things, people are more likely to tune out. So get the audio right, get the video right, but grow as you go. And like James said, if you watch some of his old videos, you'll see the growth in it. And just understand that you don't have to be... We chasing perfection knowing we never gonna reach it, right? But
yeah,
we gonna go at it relentlessly till we get there, right? But just know you don't have to put out a perfect project in the beginning. Just put out, some good quality content. That's all you're doing. The quality is better. The quality will get better, you know what I mean? But you do need the quantity of content to keep getting out there to get in front of people.
Yeah, getting the reps. And thank you for those kind words. That means a lot coming from you. So like the getting the reps and grow as you go. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what everybody hopefully trying to do. But what you said there, you're chasing perfection even though you're not going to reach it. The joy is in the chasing the perfection. You're trying. Because once you hit that perfect mark, we never will, but let's say we do, then where do we go from there? So keep continuously chasing in your life that perfection that you're never going to reach, and keep going. I love that. That's awesome, man. Dude, you're always an inspiration to talk to. But you brought up something with Autoglass Weeks 2025. What's coming up for you in Autoglass Week in 2025?
I'm there, brother. So to Autoglass Week, we are there. I'll be there that whole week for Autoglass Week. It's in Reno. So 10 years ago, we was in Reno, and that was the last time we was on the West Coast. So, hey, it's good to be back on the West Coast for everyone who always say you don't bring it to the West Coast. It's in Reno, so and it's during the week. So I think it's a cool time to be there. For anybody who don't go to Autoglass Week, check out autoglassweek.com. It's all the information's there. But it's a cool event to be at, to network with people, meet people. You always learn something being at Autoglass Week from just networking with people or actually going to some of the seminars. So I think it'd be really cool. And if you're competitive, you can compete. They got Repair Olympics, calibrations, customer service, replacement, and even if you're on the tent side of it, they got the tent off set up. So it's a lot of stuff happening there, just to see it, to take it all in, or to actually partake in it. So yeah, it's always exciting for me to go to it.
Yeah, same here. I'll be there. I hope I get invited to be part of the show again. I think that it's going to be a great show, the 20 and 25 year, celebration. I think I hope it's huge. I hope the West Coast shows up because, like you said, I've heard you never bring it to the West. You never bring it to the West. Well, it's coming back West. So I'm hoping my East Coasters follow me out, and then the West Coasters show up, and we have this huge showing because the last 2 years, we've given Tent a good run for their money as far as, being proud and loud. And then we show up this year and really make it proud and loud. That'd be great because last year was good. Hopefully this year will be even better. And I can't wait. I can't wait until then. And hopefully I get my invite soon to be part of it.
There you go, brother. Well, yeah, look forward to seeing you there, and I'm sure if they give you the opportunity, you'll crush it again. And I love the suits and love all that. So yeah.
Oh yeah. If they give me the opportunity to have a microphone again, I'm definitely taking that, and then I'll definitely be in a suit all week, just like always. Bright, powerful suits. Just love it. It's part of who I am, and so if you're not planning on coming out, change your mind. Change your mind, come on out, because we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a memorable year for sure. So if you're there, make sure you hit the Delta booth. Find Corey, get yourself on one of his little selfie shots. Those are always a highlight of the week for me. Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Well, thanks for being on the show. I just got a meeting message, so I got to jump off here and get onto a meeting. But thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it. One last food for thought. Anything you want the listeners to know?
Nothing. I appreciate you for having me on the platform, and for everybody out there, start somewhere and keep crushing life, or try to crush life, man. So that's all what it's all about.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. And hold on a second, Corey.